The vastness of space stretched out before the Galactic Council's observation deck. Hundreds of alien representatives from across the Milky Way gathered here, their eyes fixed on the holographic displays. Each screen showed a different part of their shared galaxy, a tapestry of stars, planets, and the occasional spaceship zipping between them. ZAC-7, a blue-skinned alien with 4 arms and eyes that glowed like distant stars, leaned forward in his chair. His tentacle-like fingers danced across the control panel, zooming in on a particular sector of space. "Look here," he said, his voice a mix of clicks and whistles. "The humans are at it again." The others turned their attention to ZAC-7's screen. It showed a small blue-green planet orbiting an unremarkable yellow star. Earth, as its inhabitants called it, had only joined the galactic community 50 years ago. In galactic terms, they were infants, barely out of their cradle. Glupa, a gelatinous being who communicated through color changes, pulsed a deep purple of curiosity. "What are they doing now?" she asked, her thoughts translated by the room's eye. ZAC-7 zoomed in further. The image now showed a massive construction site on the far side of Earth's moon. Hundreds of tiny dots, spacecraft and workers, swarmed around a half-finished structure. It was huge, easily the size of a small city. "They claim it's a new type of spaceship," ZAC-7 explained. "But look at the size of it. It's far larger than anything they've built before." Krell-X, a reptilian alien known for his skepticism, snorted. "Humans always think bigger is better. They're probably just trying to impress us." The room filled with a mixture of laughter and agreement. Humans were known for their ambition, often biting off more than they could chew. Their rapid technological progress since joining the galactic community had been impressive, but they were still far behind the older, more established species. As the aliens continued to watch and discuss, a new figure entered the observation deck. Ambassador Chen, Earth's representative to the Galactic Council, walked in with a confident stride. The room fell silent as all eyes turned to her. Chen was tall for a human, with short black hair and eyes that sparkled with intelligence. She wore the traditional blue and gold uniform of Earth's Space Force, adorned with the symbols of her rank and homeworld. "Greetings, esteemed colleagues," Chen said, her voice carrying across the room. "I see you've noticed our little project." ZAC-7 turned to face her. "Little? Ambassador, that ship is larger than some of our space stations. What exactly are you building?" Chen smiled, a gesture that still unnerved some of the aliens. "That, my friends, is the future. We call it the Stardancer." "And what makes this Stardancer so special?" Krell-X asked, his tone dripping with sarcasm. Chen's smile widened. "It's not just a ship. It's a key to unlock the 7th dimension." The room erupted in a cacophony of sounds, gasps, exclamations, and the occasional curse in a dozen different languages. 7th-dimensional travel was theoretical at best, a pipe dream that even the most advanced species in the galaxy hadn't cracked. Glupa pulsed a bright yellow of disbelief. "Impossible. Your species has barely mastered 4th-dimensional slip space. How could you possibly?" "I understand your skepticism," Chen interrupted gently, "but I assure you, it's very real. In fact, we're planning a demonstration next month. You're all invited, of course." As Chen turned to leave, she paused at the door. "Oh, and one more thing. The Stardancer isn't just a prototype. We're building a fleet." With that bombshell, she left, leaving the alien representatives in stunned silence. ZAC-7 was the first to recover. He turned back to the screen, studying the construction site with new eyes. "If they've really done it," he mused, "everything is about to change." Krell-X nodded slowly, his earlier skepticism replaced by a grudging respect. For better or worse, the galaxy will never be the same. As the aliens continued to watch and speculate, the image of the half-built Stardancer loomed large on the screen. In the depths of space, on a moon orbiting a small blue planet, humanity was about to take its biggest step yet into the cosmic unknown. Deep within the heart of Earth's moon, In a sprawling underground complex, the world's brightest minds were hard at work. This was the nerve center of the Seventh Dimension Project, a place where the impossible was becoming possible. Dr. Arya Khan, the project's lead scientist, stood before a massive holographic display. Her dark hair was tied back in a messy bun, and her eyes sparkled with excitement behind her glasses. The display showed a complex web of equations and diagrams, all related to the mysteries of the seventh dimension. "We're close," Arya muttered, more to herself than anyone else. "So close I can almost taste it." Behind her, a team of scientists and engineers from every corner of Earth worked tirelessly. Some were hunched over computers, running simulations. Others were tinkering with strange-looking devices that hummed and pulsed with otherworldly energy. Suddenly, an alarm blared through the complex. Arya spun around, her heart racing. "What's happening?" she shouted over the noise. Dr. Chen Lai, her right-hand man and old friend, rushed over. "It's the containment field," he said, his face pale. "It's destabilizing." Arya's eyes widened. The containment field was crucial. It kept the experimental seventh-dimensional energy from leaking into our reality. "If it failed, evacuate the lab," Arya ordered. As alarms continued to blare, scientists and engineers rushed for the exits, but Arya ran in the opposite direction, towards the heart of the complex. "Arya, what are you doing?" Chen shouted after her. "Someone has to stabilize it manually," she called back. "Go. I'll be right behind you." Arya burst into the core room. In the center stood a massive machine, crackling with energy. Sparks of impossible colors danced around it, and the air itself seemed to warp and twist. Without hesitation, Arya threw herself at the control panel. Her fingers flew over the keys, adjusting parameters and rerouting power. Sweat beaded on her forehead as she worked, the fate of the project, and possibly much more, hanging in the balance. Minutes ticked by like hours. The energy grew more unstable, lashing out in arcs that left scorch marks on the walls. But Arya didn't flinch. She kept working, her mind racing through calculations and possibilities. Finally, with a mighty surge, the machine settled. The strange energies receded, and the alarms fell silent. Arya slumped against the control panel, exhausted but triumphant. Chen burst into the room, his face a mix of relief and anger. "Are you insane?" he demanded. "You could have been killed." Arya managed a weak smile. "But I wasn't. And look," she pointed to the readouts on the screen. "We did it, Chen. We've stabilized the seventh dimensional field." Chen's anger melted away as he studied the data. "My God," he whispered. "You're right. This changes everything." As the two scientists marveled at their breakthrough, they didn't notice the small, spider-like robot hiding in the corner of the room. Its single lens was focused on them, recording everything. Miles above, in high Earth orbit, an alien ship received the robot's transmission. The ship's captain, a being of pure energy contained within a crystalline structure, reviewed the footage. "Interesting," the captain mused, its thoughts translating into a soft, melodious hum. "The humans have progressed further than we anticipated. Perhaps it's time we paid them a visit." The alien ship's engines flared to life, propelling it towards the moon. As it approached, its advanced cloaking technology rendered it invisible to Earth's defenses. Back in the lunar complex, Arya and Chen were briefing General Yamamoto, the military overseer of the project. "So you're saying we can start integrating this technology into the Stardancer?" the general asked, his weathered face creased with both excitement and concern. Arya nodded. "Yes, but we need to be careful. This power, it's beyond anything we've ever dealt with before." As they discussed the implications of their breakthrough, none of them were aware of the invisible ship now hovering above the lunar surface, or of the alien eyes watching their every move. The Seventh Dimension Project was about to enter a new phase, one that would challenge not just the laws of physics, but humanity's place in the galaxy itself. The day of the grand unveiling had finally arrived. Earth's moon buzzed with activity as ships from across the galaxy descended upon its surface. A massive dome had been constructed to house the event, its transparent walls offering a breathtaking view of both Earth and the stars beyond. Inside, aliens of all shapes and sizes mingled with humans in an unprecedented gathering. The air was thick with excitement and tension. At the center of it all stood the Stardancer, its sleek hull gleaming under the lights. Ambassador Chen took the stage, her voice amplified across the dome. "Welcome, honored guests, to this historic moment," she began. "Today, humanity is proud to present a leap forward in space travel technology, the Stardancer." As Chen spoke, Dr. Arya Khan stood nervously backstage. She fiddled with the cuffs of her formal uniform, her mind racing through last-minute calculations. Beside her, Dr. Chen Li placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "It'll work," he whispered. "We've tested it 100 times." Arya nodded, but couldn't shake her unease. Something felt off. In the audience, Zach 7 leaned towards Glupa. "Look at the ship's design," he whispered. "It's unlike anything I've ever seen." Glupa pulsed a deep blue of agreement. "The energy readings are off the charts. But how? Their technology shouldn't be this advanced." As the presentation continued, the alien ship that had been observing the lunar base decloaked high above the dome. Its sudden appearance sent shockwaves through Earth's defense systems. Inside the dome, alarms began to blare. The audience stirred in confusion and fear. Ambassador Chen's voice cut through the chaos. "Please remain calm. Our security teams are investigating the situation." But before anyone could react further, a beam of light shot down from the alien ship, piercing the dome's shield as if it were paper. The beam engulfed the Stardancer, bathing it in an eerie, pulsating glow. Panic erupted. Aliens and humans alike scrambled for safety. But Arya pushed against the tide, fighting her way towards the ship. "We have to stop them," she shouted to Chen Lai, who was right behind her. "If they access the seventh dimensional core, there's no telling what could happen." As they reached the ship, the alien beam intensified. The Stardancer's hull began to vibrate, emitting a high-pitched whine that made everyone's teeth ache. Suddenly, a voice boomed through the dome, seeming to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. "Humans," it said, its tone a mixture of curiosity and condescension, "you play with forces beyond your understanding. We cannot allow this to continue." Ambassador Chen, showing remarkable composure, stepped forward. "Who are you? What gives you the right to interfere with our affairs?" "We are the Guardians," the voice replied, "protectors of dimensional stability. Your experiments threaten the very fabric of reality." As this exchange took place, Arya and Chen Lai had managed to board the Stardancer. They raced to the control room, their fingers flying over the consoles. "If we can activate the seventh dimensional drive," Arya said breathlessly, "we might be able to break free of their beam." Chen Lai nodded, inputting the final sequence. "Here goes nothing," he muttered. Outside, the assembled galactic representatives watched in awe as the Stardancer began to glow. It started faintly at first, then grew brighter and brighter until it was painful to look at directly. The alien beam flickered and wavered. The voice of the Guardians faltered. "Impossible," it said, genuine surprise evident in its tone. With a sound like reality itself tearing, the Stardancer vanished. One moment it was there, bathed in otherworldly light, and the next, gone. A stunned silence fell over the dome. Then, chaos erupted once more. Aliens turned to their human hosts, demanding explanations. Earth's military leaders huddled together, trying to make sense of what had just happened. Ambassador Chen stood alone on the stage, her eyes fixed on the empty space where the Stardancer had been. A mix of pride and fear warred within her. They had done it. Humanity had shown its power to the galaxy. But at what cost? And where had Arya, Chen Lai, and the Stardancer gone? As the dome buzzed with frantic activity, a small, spider-like robot quietly detached itself from the underside of the stage. Its mission complete, it scuttled away, carrying with it the secrets of humanity's greatest technological leap, and perhaps the key to the galaxy's future. The Stardancer hurtled through a realm beyond human comprehension. Swirls of impossible colors and shapes surrounded the ship, twisting and morphing in ways that defied the laws of physics. Inside the control room, Arya and Chen Li clung to their seats, their knuckles white from the strain. "Where are we?" Chen Li shouted over the ship's groaning hull. Arya's eyes darted across the readings on her screen. "The seventh dimension, I think. But it's not what we expected." Suddenly, the ship shuddered violently. Alarms blared as systems started to fail one by one. "We're losing power," Chen Li yelled. "The seventh dimensional drive can't handle this strain." Arya's mind raced. They had seconds to act before the ship was torn apart. Her fingers flew across the control panel, making rapid adjustments. "I'm going to try to drop us back into normal space," she said. "Hold on." With a final, gut-wrenching lurch, the Stardancer burst back into familiar space. Stars twinkled around them, a welcome sight after the chaos of the seventh dimension. But their relief was short-lived. As the ship's systems came back online, they realized they were in unknown territory. "These star patterns," Chen Li muttered, studying the nav computer. "They're not in our database. Arya, I think we're in a different galaxy." Before Arya could respond, a massive shadow fell over the Stardancer. They looked up to see an enormous ship, easily 100 times the size of theirs, looming above them. A voice crackled over their comm system. "Unidentified vessel, you have entered restricted space. Power down your systems and prepare to be boarded." Arya and Chen Li exchanged worried glances. They were trapped, with no way to contact Earth or navigate home. Meanwhile, back on Earth's moon, chaos reigned. The disappearance of the Stardancer had thrown the galactic community into turmoil. Ambassador Chen stood before the Galactic Council, her usual composure strained. "I assure you, we had no intention of." "No intention," Zach 7 interrupted, his 4 arms waving in agitation. "You've unleashed technology that could destabilize the entire universe." Glupa pulsed a deep red of anger. "The humans must be contained. We cannot allow them to continue this reckless pursuit of power." As accusations flew, General Yamamoto slipped out of the council chamber. He made his way to a secure communication room, where he initiated a top-secret call to Earth. "Mr. President," he said grimly, "we have a situation. The aliens are talking about containment. We need to activate Project Safeguard." Back on the Stardancer, Arya and Chen Li were escorted off their ship by towering crystalline beings. The interior of the alien vessel was vast, with ceilings that seemed to stretch into infinity. They were brought before a being that seemed to be made of pure energy, contained within a shimmering, translucent form. "I am High Commander Zithera of the Luminary Collective," the being said, its voice resonating in their minds rather than their ears. "Your arrival has caused quite a stir." Arya stepped forward, her scientific curiosity overriding her fear. "We apologize for the intrusion. We're explorers from a planet called Earth, in the Milky Way galaxy." Zithera's form flickered with interest. "Earth, the Milky Way. Fascinating. You've traveled much further than you know, humans. Welcome to the Andromeda galaxy." Chen Li's jaw dropped. "Andromeda? But that's millions of light years from Earth." "Indeed," Zithera confirmed. "Your technology is unprecedented. It could shift the balance of power in ways we cannot predict." As Arya and Chen Li grappled with the implications of their journey, Zithera continued, "We must decide what to do with you. The knowledge you possess could be dangerous in the wrong hands." Back on Earth, military bases around the world sprang into action. Hidden hangars opened, revealing fleets of ships that had been kept secret from the galactic community. "Project Safeguard," Humanity's insurance policy against alien threats was now active. As these events unfolded across two galaxies, the spider-like robot that had witnessed the Stardancer's departure scuttled into a dark corner of the lunar base. Its lens glowed as it transmitted a final message to its unseen masters. The stage was set for a confrontation that would reshape the destiny of not just humanity, but the entire universe. The Earth's skies lit up with the fiery trails of ascending spacecraft. Project Safeguard was in full swing, revealing humanity's hidden fleet to the shocked galactic community. In orbit, alien diplomats watched in disbelief as sleek, advanced ships emerged from hidden bases across the planet. These vessels, clearly built with technology beyond what Earth had previously shown, took up defensive positions around the globe. On the Galactic Council's ship, Ambassador Chen stood tall, her expression a mix of pride and defiance. "Gentlemen," she addressed the stunned alien representatives, "it seems we have more to discuss." Zack Seven's four eyes blinked rapidly in surprise. You deceived us all along." "Not deception," Chen corrected. "Prudence. Earth has learned from history that it's wise to keep an ace up one's sleeve." As tensions escalated in Earth's orbit, millions of light-years away in the Andromeda Galaxy, Area, and Chenli faced their own challenges. The two humans stood before a grand council of the Luminary Collective. Beings of various forms, some energy, some crystalline, some defying description, surrounded them. At the center, High Commander Zithera's luminous form pulsed with barely contained energy. "Your arrival has caused quite a stir," Zithera's thoughts echoed in their minds. "Some see you as a threat, others as an opportunity. We must decide your fate." Aria stepped forward, her voice steady despite her racing heart. "We came here by accident, but perhaps it was destiny. Our peoples have much to learn from each other." A crystalline being chimed in, its voice like tinkling glass. "Your seventh-dimensional drive could revolutionize travel between galaxies, but it could also be used as a terrible weapon." "All great discoveries carry risk," Chenli argued, "but they also bring hope. Imagine the possibilities for exploration, for understanding the universe." As the debate raged on, Aria noticed something odd. In a dark corner of the chamber, a small, spider-like robot watched the proceedings. Its design was eerily familiar. Back on Earth, General Yamamoto stood in the control room of humanity's secret lunar base. Holographic displays showed the standoff in orbit and the frantic diplomatic negotiations. "Sir," a young officer reported, "we're detecting unusual energy signatures from multiple points in the solar system. They match the readings from the alien ship that tried to capture the Stardancer." Yamamoto's eyes narrowed. "They're not alone. Prepare for possible hostile action." In that moment, space itself seemed to tear open. Massive ships, far larger than anything in Earth's fleet, emerged from swirling vortexes. The Guardians had returned, and in greater numbers. A booming voice echoed across all communication channels. "Humans of Earth, your reckless experiments end now. Surrender your seventh-dimensional technology, or face the consequences." Ambassador Chen's voice cut through the chaos. "We will not be bullied or threatened. Earth is ready to defend itself and its right to scientific progress." As Earth's hidden fleet moved to engage the Guardian ships, something unexpected happened. The Stardancer suddenly blinked into existence in the midst of the confrontation. Aria's voice crackled over the comms. "Stop. Everyone, please. There's more at stake here than you know." The battle halted as all eyes turned to the return ship. Aria's next words sent shockwaves through both fleets. "The Guardians aren't what they seem. They're not protectors. They're conquerors, using advanced technology to subjugate galaxies. And they're not alone." As if on cue, another fleet of ships appeared. The Luminary Collective had followed the Stardancer through the seventh dimension. High Commander Zithera's voice resonated across space. "Beings of the Milky Way, we come in peace and mourning. The humans speak the truth. We have fought the false guardians in our galaxy for eons. Now, we stand with Earth against this threat. The stage was set for an epic confrontation. Earth and its newfound allies from Andromeda on one side, the mysterious Guardians on the other. And caught in the middle, the fate of two galaxies hung in the balance. As tensions reached a boiling point, the small spider-like robot on the lunar base activated. Its true purpose was about to be revealed, potentially changing the course of the coming battle. The vastness of space became a battlefield. Earth's hidden fleet, the massive Guardian ships, and the elegant vessels of the Luminary Collective faced off in a tense standoff. The Stardancer hovered at the center, a small ship carrying the weight of two galaxies' futures. Aboard the Stardancer, Area and Chen Lai worked feverishly at the controls. "We need to broadcast the truth to everyone," Area said, her fingers flying over the console. Suddenly, every screen, every communication device across both fleets lit up with a unified transmission. The face that appeared wasn't human, or Guardian, or even from the Luminary Collective. It was something else entirely. "Greetings, beings of both galaxies." The creature spoke, its voice oddly melodious. "I am Xthul, last of the precursors." Gasps and murmurs rippled through every ship. The precursors were thought to be a myth, an ancient race that had seeded the galaxies with life eons ago. Xthul continued, "The time has come for truth. The Guardians you see before you are not protectors, but our creations gone rogue." On the Guardian ships, confusion reigned. Many of the crew members looked to their leaders, doubt creeping into their minds. "Millennia ago, we precursors created the Guardians to watch over the younger races," Xthul explained. "But they grew ambitious, twisting their purpose from protection to control." The spider-like robot in the lunar base suddenly activated, projecting a holographic image of Xthul. General Yamamoto stumbled back in surprise. "We hid seeds of resistance in every galaxy," Xthul's voice echoed through the base. "Earth's breakthrough in seventh-dimensional technology was no accident. It was the fruition of our long-laid plans." In orbit, the Guardian ships began to break formation. Some turned their weapons on their own kind, while others powered down, their crews in turmoil. Ambassador Chen, watching from the Galactic Council's ship, turned to the alien representatives. "It seems we've all been pawns in a game much larger than we imagined." Zach 7 nodded solemnly. "Perhaps it's time we stood together, not as separate races, but as united galaxies." Back on the Stardancer, Aria's eyes widened as she deciphered incoming data. "The seventh-dimensional drive," she gasped. "It's not just for travel. It's a key to unlocking the precursor's hidden technology." Chen Lai looked at her in awe. "You mean?" "We have the power to reshape reality itself," Aria finished. As this revelation sunk in, the remaining Guardian ships launched a desperate attack. Energy beams lanced out, targeting the Stardancer. But the humans were ready. Earth's fleet moved as one, forming a protective barrier around the Stardancer. The Luminary Collective ships joined them, their advanced shields absorbing the brunt of the attack. High Commander Zathera's voice rang out. "Now, humans, use the power you've unlocked." Aria took a deep breath and activated the seventh-dimensional drive. The Stardancer began to glow, pulsing with energy that defied comprehension. Waves of power rolled out from the ship, washing over friend and foe alike. Where the waves touched the Guardian ships, they simply winked out of existence, banished to a dimension from which they could no longer threaten anyone. The attacking fleet dwindled, then vanished entirely. As the light faded, a stunned silence fell over the assembled ships. The battle was over, won not with weapons, but with a power beyond imagination. Xthul's image appeared once more. "You have done well, children of Earth, and all who stood with them. The power of the precursors is now yours to steward. Use it wisely, for the good of all life in the universe." With those words, Xthul faded away, leaving the united fleets to contemplate their new reality. Ambassador Chen's voice broke the silence. "Today marks a new era, not just for Earth or the Milky Way or even Andromeda. Today, we take our first steps as a truly united universe. As cheers erupted across the fleet area, and Chen Lai shared a quiet moment on the Stardancer's bridge. "We did it," Chen Lai said softly. Arya nodded, her eyes fixed on the stars outside. "We did, but our journey is just beginning." In the vast expanse of space, the assembled ships of multiple galaxies hung together, a testament to the incredible journey that had brought them to this point. The dawn of a new age had arrived, promising adventures and discoveries beyond imagination. 1 year had passed since the great battle that united galaxies. Earth, once a newcomer to the galactic stage, now stood at the center of a new intergalactic alliance. The Milky Way and Andromeda, along with several other galaxies, had formed the United Cosmic Federation, UCF. At the heart of this alliance was the Nexus, a massive space station built using seventh-dimensional technology. It hung in the void between the Milky Way and Andromeda, a shining beacon of unity and progress. Today, the Nexus buzzed with activity. Delegates from 100 worlds had gathered for the first annual UCF Summit. Among them walked Arya and Chen Lai, now hailed as heroes across multiple galaxies. "Can you believe it's been a year already?" Chen Li mused, gazing out at the swirling colors of the seventh-dimensional transit hub. Arya smiled, her eyes reflecting the cosmic dance outside. "Sometimes it feels like yesterday. Other times, like a lifetime ago." Their reflections were interrupted by a familiar voice. "There you are." Ambassador Chen approached, flanked by Zack 7 and a luminous representative of the Luminary Collective. "The council is waiting," Chen said, her tone a mix of excitement and nervousness. "It's time to unveil the Harmony Project." As they made their way to the Grand Chamber, beings of all shapes and sizes nodded respectfully. The heroes of Earth had become symbols of a new age. The council chamber was a marvel of alien architecture and human ingenuity. At its center stood a holographic projection of multiple galaxies swirling in a cosmic dance. High Commander Zithera, now co-chair of the UCF, called the session to order. "Esteemed delegates," the energy being's thoughts resonated. "We stand at the dawn of a new era. Thanks to the bravery of Earth and the wisdom of the precursors, we have unlocked the secrets of the universe." Arya stepped forward, her voice carrying across the chamber. "The Harmony Project is the next step in our journey. Using the seventh-dimensional technology, we've discovered a way to bridge not just space, but time itself." Gasps and murmurs filled the room. Chen Lai continued the explanation. "We can now observe the past and glimpse potential futures. But more importantly, we can learn from them." A holographic display sprang to life, showing scenes from various periods of galactic history. Ancient civilizations rose and fell, great wars raged and subsided, and through it all, life persevered. "By understanding our shared past," Arya said, "we can build a better future. The Harmony Project will allow us to avoid the mistakes of those who came before and build upon their successes." As the delegates watched in awe, a small commotion at the back of the chamber caught everyone's attention. A group of beings entered, unlike any seen before. They were chameleon-like, shifting forms as they moved. Ambassador Chen's eyes widened in recognition. "The Shifters," she whispered, "the lost race from the legends." The leader of the Shifters stepped forward, its form settling into a shimmering, ethereal shape. "We are the Watchers," it announced, its voice like wind through crystal, hidden by the precursors to observe and guide when the time was right. That time has come. The chamber erupted in excited chatter. Zack 7's 4 arms waved for silence. "Please," he said, "let them speak." The Watcher continued, "The Harmony Project is a noble endeavor. But be warned, the power to see through time is fraught with danger. We are here to help you navigate this new frontier." High Commander Zithera's form pulsed with curiosity. "We welcome your guidance. The UCF was founded on the principle of unity through diversity. Your wisdom will be invaluable." As the summit continued, plans were made, alliances strengthened, and a path to the future charted. The assembled delegates, representing civilizations spanning millions of light years, worked together in a spirit of cooperation unimaginable just a year ago. Outside the Nexus, the eternal dance of galaxies continued. But now, guided by the combined wisdom of countless races and armed with technology beyond imagination, the united beings of the cosmos looked to the future with hope and wonder. Arya and Chen Lai stood at a viewport, watching ships from a dozen galaxies come and go through the seventh-dimensional transit hub. "You know," Arya said softly, "when we first built the Stardancer, I never imagined it would lead to this." Chen Lai nodded, squeezing her hand. "Just think, this is only the beginning. The real journey starts now." As they turned back to rejoin the summit, the vastness of space seemed to pulse with potential. The age of isolation was over. The era of cosmic harmony had begun.